Another day, another Zach LaVine trade rumor. This time, reportedly, the Toronto Raptors are interested in trading for Zach LaVine. We got the framework of a suggested deal that would send Zach LaVine to Toronto. We're going to talk about that all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize. More importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content. And so we have yet another Zach LaVine trade rumor. As you guys may have seen on my daily episode today, I'm kind of tired of the Zach LaVine trade drama, just ready for it to be over. I know not to say that to rush it or anything like that just to get a trade done, but it's to say I'm just tired of all of it. But with that said, we got another Zach LaVine trade rumor in this case. This one is actually sending Zach LaVine to Toronto, and I want to talk about it from this standpoint. Like Toronto, who's trying to break up some of the monotony of a lot of the similar type makeup players that they have there. This is a deal that gets some of those players, a couple of them, gets a young, talented piece who was just drafted at number 13 overall, and then actually gets the Bulls potentially some more first-round picks in this as well. So the way that the framework deal was done, this is the rumor deal, is that the Chicago Bulls will receive Precious Achiuwa, Chris Boucher, Grady Dick, Gary Trent Jr., and a 2026 first-round pick that is top 8 protected that turns into 2 seconds if not conveyed, and another 2028 pick that is top 8 protected and turns into 2 seconds if not conveyed. So again, the last time the Bulls have taken some of those or first-round picks that were protected and turned into second-round picks, we ended up getting the second-round picks. But this is 2 first-round picks sending back to Zach LaVine. And the Bulls will send out Zach LaVine and Terry Taylor. Now, the only thing with this is that the Bulls getting 4 players back technically would not work. The Bulls would have to open up some roster spots. We do have 1 open roster spot, so that means we would be able to take on 3 of these players. The 4th player in this deal, you either have to find a third team or cut someone to open up a roster spot for them. So there you go on that one. But this is one of the better deals that I think as far as just what you get back. You look at a 2026 first-round pick. The Toronto Raptors are much like us. They're a team that has kind of disappointed to a degree. It's no guarantee that the Toronto Raptors will be like this huge playoff threat or anything by then. It's a chance that they may be. Right now, the Toronto Raptors sit at 6-5 on the season, so you got that to look at. But at the end of the day, right now, I'm wrong on the record. They're 9-11 on the season. Where did I get 6-5 from? Sorry about that. They're 9-11 so far on the season. And so they're a team that, while has its own questions and things like that, they're a team that you could technically look at and say, hey, maybe there is a way in which this Chicago Bulls team could get that first round pick. It won't be, it'll come out of those protections. As I said, it's top 8 protected, so it may not be top 8, especially if they make the playoffs. Right now, the Toronto Raptors, they wouldn't necessarily be in that area. So that's some things that you have to look at with this team, as well as how those first round picks are going to shake out. But then when you look at the players that are involved in this deal, right? That's where it starts getting to a place where it's like, I don't know if this is necessarily the best deal. I hope that the Bulls can get offered a better deal than this as far as kind of the young talent involved in this deal. Precious is a 24-year-old player. He's 6'8", 243 pounds. Right now, he's averaging 7.3 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game. Again, not like the highest prospect at all. It does add some more forward depth what the Bulls could use. He's played in 14 games so far for the Toronto Raptors, hasn't started a single game, only 18 minutes per game in that time. Look at Chris Boucher, which I did not realize that Chris Boucher was as old as what he is. Like, this guy's 30 years old. Did you guys know that? I don't know why I thought he was younger than that. Maybe that's just me. 6'9", 200 pounds. But again, it's not a guy that has huge upside. He's in his 6th NBA season. He's played 19 games for them so far, 14.5 minutes per game. So again, not like a huge talent. The biggest get as far as talent in this would be, to me, Gary Trent Jr. and Grady Dick, who Grady Dick is a rookie right now. Hasn't played a whole hell of a lot for them, but we know the upside that he does have, that he was projected to have coming into this draft. And then you have Gary Trent Jr., who's also 24 years old, who is averaging double-digit points per game. But at the end of the day, you're getting that potential talent back. Grady Dick is a player that, interested some players, what he could be shooting-wise. He also is a player that can get to the rim some. They haven't played him a whole hell of a lot there, which may point to maybe that's not as much there. He's only played 14 0.7 minutes per game for them, 15 games played. He's started one game for them. Nothing too amazing there, but it's like I look at this and I'm saying, if this is the best deal that you can get for Zach LaVine, that really points to the market being maybe even worse than some of us expected, even with hearing that there's no real market for him. But those 2 first-round picks, that top 8 protected, if it works out for the Toronto Raptors, at least that 2026 pick probably won't fall in the top 8. I don't know if they'll be that bad. You then, you get that first-round pick back. It's going to probably be, a little bit outside of the lottery, or maybe low in the lottery. And then the 2028 pick. Now, the thing about that is that Zach LaVine's contract would be up by then. So potentially that team could be in a much, much worse situation. And then you're looking at it as maybe turning into 2 second-round picks there. So there's some question in that. Like, it's not necessarily the most exciting pick. The most exciting pieces in that is the 2 first-round picks and Grady Dick to a degree. But then again, you'd have to be high on Dick. Take that for what you will. To really be high on that deal. So, at the end of the day, I think OG Anunoby would make this deal, if you can get him, or Pascal Siakam, would make this deal much better for the Chicago Bulls if they decide to go in that direction. I would much rather have one of those 2 players in this deal if the Bulls are trading with the Toronto Raptors for Zach LaVine. But like I said, even then, you got some questions in regards to if this is the best deal possible. But hey, maybe I'm tripping. Let me know down below. What do you think on this rumored deal, or this potential deal for Zach LaVine to go to the Toronto Raptors? Like I said, I'm not too high on it, but hey, maybe that's just me. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number 1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end everything on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.